Today the sky is grey, and the green is green. This is Dorestone. This is the old village school. It's now used as a community centre. When the 10,000 travellers descend upon the village to have their rave, this is where they rave. When you get tired of looking up at the sky or raving in the community centre, there's always the pub. The local inhabitants. They tend to leave after a while. This is a quick cut to my room because the master of Dorestone is deciding to have a shit and I can't get to my next shot. So this is my little room. Notice the old oak doors, and if we look up to the ceiling, as we're about to do, you can see going across the ceiling, oh god, I'm falling over, a beam. The beam is not actually wobbling, that's me falling over. Jim, what are you doing in there?
Want to see?
Yeah, I'd love to see.
Oh,
what? I can't see anything.
I've got one in at the moment. I'm going to put the other one in.
Right.
I'm going to see.
What do you mean you want to see?
I want to see what it does.
No. And this is where the master of Dorestone, Lord Jim, makes his abode. He's not very well house trained, so he's not usually actually allowed in the house. Now Jim told me to come down here because I'd get an excellent view of the hills around Dorestone. As you can see, all I get is trees. And if I go down a bit lower, I might get a bit of garden. Not a hill in sight. No wonder they keep him in a tree house. No, we can actually see the odd hill, I suppose. It's still not a reason to let him out of the tree house, though.
Amazing.
This is Graham, who is the mayor of Dorestone.
I don't think so, Frank. I don't think so. Bye.
Bye.
Right.
A tone.
This is Lord Jim in his kitchen.
The light's not very good over here, Frank.
This is Mary doing onions, or ratatouille. They're called ratatouille because they make that sort of drum pattern when you drop them in the sink. There you go. A quick pan around the kitchen. Very appropriate. Viewers may remember a previous film taken in this kitchen. You'll notice in this shot Jim seems to have lost the bottom part of his body. That's because he tends to spend a lot of time dozing. And for people who like such things, here is a panoramic view around the village of Dorestone. All the bird and animal noises are actually made by Jim. He's particularly good at the pigeons. We end up passing the village green and, of course, well, here's a bird on a wire. He's just about to be fed by Jim. Unfortunately, the battery is just about to go. It's on. Stop nagging.
You just missed it.
I didn't. It's on.
What?
I don't have to watch. It's flew off now. In which case, we go down the roof and we stop at the railings. And there he is again. He's not allowed outside those railings because he becomes a bit dangerous. I think that'll be enough to be getting on with. Right, back to the treehouse. Oh well, time to get up. And another day begins. So, it's another slightly grey day with signs of brightness over there somewhere. I can hear that Jim is still making his bird noises. He also does a quite creditable stream. His pigeon still hasn't improved though. The reason for the jerkiness of some of the pictures is that Dorestone is situated in an earthquake zone. Dorestone in the early morning. All the stores are asleep. The barn is asleep. The bridge over the river at Dorestone. Dorestone actually comes from two Anglo-Saxon words meaning stone door. This is the stream where Jim comes to practice his stream impersonations when he's getting a bit rusty. He usually has to stand up to his navel in this little stream, which means digging a couple of deep holes, so it's quite shallow. This is the dairy at Dorestone. Dairy, of course, is a place where you can dare. And here we have the churchyard. This is where you can come and be buried. And this is the church, parts of which are Norman. Norman, of course, was an old stonemason who used to live in the village. So I return to have my breakfast at the village stores, pausing only to tip my hat to the old telephone box, standing here as it has been standing since before the days of old Norman. So stopping once more to slaughter a chicken at the pagan altar and say hello to the sun. Hello, sun. I return to get Jimmy out of his tree house where he's been spending the night to make me some breakfast. Well, Jimmy must have got up by now because the sky's turned blue and the sun has come out. There is dew on the grass. Well, it's time to go into the stores now, see what's happening.